told the prophet to bring in more members, and this is how you do it. And then they're dealing with constant 19-year-old masturbation and 19-year-old having intercourse with contacts and new members, and you know, all the problems you're going to have with 19-year-old kids that are living with same-sex couples. A lot of homosexuality, a lot of them get sent home. Wait a minute, I'm exaggerating that, not a lot. Many is the correct term. Many, you might get, I'm going to say 9% of the missionary males get sent home for homosexuality behaviors, which, you know, is the #1 hate group right now for the Mormon Church. So on that mission, they are constantly living on hardly any food, sleeping in strange places, and getting up at 6 in the morning, reading their scriptures, talking to each other about the lessons, and going out and knocking on doors and telling strangers that your church is the great and abominable church, which has historically been the Catholic Church for Mormons, and that we're the only true church, and we are the restoration. All of the religious things have been lost, and Joseph Smith brought them back, including marrying 14-year-olds. That's one of the things he brought back. So the missionary experience is the final graduation of the cult brainwashing. And boy, when they get back, the first thing that the church rewards them with is not 71 virgins, but one virgin, supposedly a virgin, that they encourage him especially to get married, because they know they don't want those missionaries learning anything about the real world or real life and dating and trying different girls. So the first Mormon girl you see when you come back from a mission, you marry. Now, don't let me give you the impression I've been on a mission. I haven't. I haven't been on a mission, and I didn't want to go. When I was 19 and they told me what a missionary did, it kind of reminded me of the scouting program, which I have a video on. I didn't want to live with another man for 2 years in close quarters. And the only time we didn't have to be with each other is when we went poo-poo and when we were taking a shower. And I just thought that that was not as much fun as maybe dating some girls, having my own car, and enjoying life and having a real life. Well, I was a maverick and a terrible person because I did that. And all the others were privileged, and they came back and they had more power and more privilege than I did. I was never called into important positions in the church because I wasn't a returned missionary. They don't trust you. If you haven't been through that final cult training, you could turn on them. And you know what? I did. Here I am, 64 years old, and I was faithful to them for 50 years. They kind of treated me fairly, I guess. But I never got into the upper echelon, and now I look back and say, I wonder if it was that mission thing that I didn't do. So now you're getting the whole overall plan of salvation. You're not told these things by the Mormon missionaries, and you don't learn these things. Sometimes you never learn them, but you don't learn them for years. Now, the other thing you don't learn in the Mormon church, and you're not capable of answering, is the history. The doctrinal history of the Mormon Church is so atrocious, and the authorities know that. They don't let you read it. It's called anti-Mormon. So you have, promise that you will not read anything that's anti-Mormon. Well, let me tell you what anti-Mormon is to the authorities of the Mormon Church. It's anything that's objective. If anything is objective, it's classified as anti-Mormon. The only thing you're allowed to read, basically, is the Desert News, the Mormon newspaper. It's called the Ensign now, which is their magazine, and the Friend, I think, is for children, and they produce all of this literature and the lesson manual books and the scriptures that Joseph and Oliver made up. You're only allowed to use those documents for your information. Here's what they don't tell you. And here is why I'm talking to you. Technology and the internet is the kiss of death for the Mormon cult. I can say to you, Joseph Smith had 2 14-year-old wives. He thought that God ordered him to do that. Then he had 30 more wives. Half of them were married to other men. And another large group that he married were 16, 17, 18, and 19-year-old girls. The Mormons don't know that. No one ever told the average Mormons that Joseph Smith was a polygamist, an adulterer, and a child molester. They never told you that. They never told you when he went off to Carthage, the reason he went to Carthage is he burned the Nauvoo Expositor newspaper to the ground. Governor Boggs didn't hate Mormons and have an extermination order. The Mormons began to be so obnoxious in his state and burning the press down, he finally yanked the charter for Nauvoo. He says, you're not a city, you're a nightmare down there. You're building the militia. Joseph Smith built his own army. Why did the Mormons need an army? Well, because so many people hated them. Because the Mormons were so obnoxious. And then Joseph Smith, I'm running for president of the United States. It's a little bit, this tape may be hundreds of years old before it's destroyed, but it's a little bit like Mitt Romney. This is 2011, and Mitt Romney, the Mormon, thinks he's going to win in 2012. Well, if he does, I'm going to erase all of my tapes. That it is Jesus, it's the Mormon God. But Joseph Smith thought he was going to be president too. And so let's see what history proves. I didn't know Brigham Young had 57 wives, and I didn't know he built houses for the special one that he liked the most, and I didn't know that Brigham Young ordered the Mountain Meadows Massacre. Now those of you that are listening say, no, there's no proof. There is proof. I got it the other day. I put it in another video. When Brigham Young visited the site of Mountain Meadows, Wilford Woodruff was with him, standing beside him. And there is a sign that Brigham read out loud, and Woodruff heard it, and he was standing right there. And Brigham said, vengeance is mine. And he looked to Wilford Woodruff and said, and I've had a little here. Wilford Woodruff wrote it in his journal. Now, if you're a Mormon, you're going to say, oh, he's lying. Oh, he didn't write it down. He didn't mean that. He was, the Mormons go into their cult mind spin. Look it up on the internet. Look up Wilford Woodruff's journal. Mormons won't accept anything that the cult has stomped out of their minds. So now, when we're able to speak, we're able to communicate with each other all over the world, I just simply want to be a voice that this plan of salvation, when you die as a Mormon, you have a Mormon funeral, and cremation is discouraged. And when you die, the Relief Society president of the local ward takes all your clothes off of you. They're really good at taking all your clothes off you. If you ask me, they're good at, castrating you. But anyway, she dresses you in all of your temple robes, hats, veils, apron, and if you have an open casket, that's what the person is dressed like. And then you're buried, so when you're resurrected, those will be the clothes that you're resurrected in. Now remember, I haven't said in this video much, and I'll just make a quick comment. When that old man puts those garments on you in that temple, you are to wear those by swearing day and night. And you're not supposed to ever take them off except to change your clothes and maybe take a bath. Now there's new rules that if you are a Marie Osmond and you're making big money and big tithing, if you're in a costume and you're an entertainer, you can take your garments off. And I kind of like that. When Marie Osmond's dancing around with no garments, that looks cool. Garments are not sexy. They're hot. The women... Interesting. Here's the women again. See, we love the women. They're the closest to... Oh my God. Look at their lips. And then look at what they do. The women have to wear their garments under their bra and under their panties. Yeah. So, try having a period that way. Oh, they'll figure it out. It's the most humiliating and the most degrading underwear that you could possibly have. And every time you get in bed together at night, you've got Joseph Smith, Brigham Young, and Tommy Monson in 2011 sleeping with you and reminding you, be careful if that penis or that vagina ever does anything wrong, we own you. We own you, and you will suffer. There's a phrase that the Mormons use that if you are kicked out of the church, you will be kicking against the pricks, Pricks. Well, there's some truth to that. That might be revelation, because since I've been out, I've been doing nothing except kicking against human pricks. They are vicious. Their revenge is more than sharp. They are cruel, they are vicious, and historically, the Danites killed around 60 people for Brigham Young and Joseph Smith, and these people are secretive, they're not sacred. They've stolen the Mason temple ceremony and rites. Joseph Smith became a top Mason, and 2 weeks later invented the endowment in the mansion house. So see, these are all the things about the plan of salvation. It's not a plan of salvation, it's a plan to strip you of being a human being. It's a plan to strip you of your money, of your personality. You're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that. If you do this, you will be on probation. If you do this, you will be excommunicated. You don't ask questions. In the temple, you bow your head and say yes. This is the Mormon cult doctrine, the plan of salvation. Thank you.